Hello. Sorry, I'm live. I didn't realize I was live so fast. Um, Tonight's gonna be kind of a short night. Got a little bit of info to share. Gonna do a little bit of drawing, but right now I'm on this page, which is basically every single page in terms of the stories. I forgot which video I mentioned this in, but I do it in like kind of like the classic old school Marvel style. Way back when Stan Lee used to do notes like this to the artist, who would then take those notes and draw the panels, and then he would come back later and script them. And I kind of do that, even though it's all a one-man gig, in order to basically create a sensation of, like, I don't know, like collaboration, even though technically it's a one-man job or one-man show. So yeah, so if you saw this before, there were 30 pages, but I realized something earlier tonight, that 30 pages is the regular story plus the extra additional backups, which are going to be part of the actual published, like, issue number 1. But the 21 pages that is the core story, I'm going to publish right away as a special edition for people who essentially donated to help me get the monitor for this project. The monitor I'm using now, the monitor is so awesome. The monitor that I'm so excited to have is just the best thing ever. So I'm just going to save my issue 1 board, stop showing me that, and then I'll show you what I got done today on page 19, which is where page 18? Uh-oh, what's going on here? Yeah, page 18. Page 19 is tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. Yeah, okay, so yeah. So as I was working on my story, I realized that I kind of had a different sort of ending in mind. Yes, I'm going to save again. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so let's close that up. I didn't get a ton of work done today because I had a job interview, and the job interview went swimmingly. And so it looks like I should be starting work next Wednesday, and it is at this point a full-time job. So the page is closed, but this is the part of the background that's going to fill this cell. And as you can see, it's a little bit off of like the roughs, which I expected, you know. I mean, I can't really do it like that, right? The perspective is probably still a little off, so it's going to take some more tweaking and stuff. But that's sort of like what the background's going to look like. I don't necessarily love how this works together as a full screen, a full image. So I might make my 2 characters bigger on the page and do it that way. I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. As a matter of fact, since we're here and I'm really just doing a recap of today's work, let's see if we can't. Oh, I can get rid of that. That's easier to see. And then there's that. Oh yeah, wait. I'm looking here. These are my pencils. Okay, so let's do the little switcheroo here. I did a little bit of some of this yesterday with my other drawing on this page. So I'm on my layer. Let's make this a little bit bigger. We're gonna move them over here a little bit. I might lose her arm, even though my borders are a little. I hate to distort the image because it can get kind of nasty if I do it that way. Okay, so we'll try that. And of course, I don't ever flatten or anything, so if it doesn't work out, that's actually better. And I like Simon's arm over here bleeding over into the other panel. Like I kind of just dig that, effing the panel, you know. And then these square lines will be behind the final image there, but I probably am gonna have to cut off her arm here, but I won't do it now because I may have to readjust their size again. And then I can move this monstrosity, which is not even the final layer, how that's gonna look, a little bit more into perspective to be behind them more. Or I could lose it all together depending on how I feel. I might actually just lose it all together, I don't know. But what I want to kind of play with while I was here is, I think, there it is. Yeah, and then let's see here. That layer can stay, and then this is, oh, this might be the layer I was gonna work on. Okay, I got myself set up to draw this. This artwork was done on this building here, this darker one with the tree and stuff, is actually part of a bigger image that I decided to do on another page altogether, so that I could sort of see, how it was going, or at least get the completed scene so that it just fit properly into perspective instead of trying to draw this little sliver of building. And I that's one thing I love about Photoshop, the ability to pick apart stuff and drop it in. Earlier, when I was doing a comic book that's available on Amazon, that it was just a test book to see about printing sizes and options and stuff. When I did that one, it was the file, the drawing file was like size relative, which was silly of me to do. But so what I did to get around working on an actual size is I would do my breakdowns on like this page, and then pull the rough drawing off on another document that was much larger, enlarge the rough document, which I don't worry about pixelation at that point, and then draw, and then take the finished drawing, bring it back to the original page, and resize it down to fit. And I guess that was cool, but it just added steps to the process. So now I draw on technically the size of the paper you're looking at is bigger than like Blue Line product, because I had an art teacher. It's funny, one of my first art teachers didn't teach me how to do art. I had an art history class with him, and he happened to also be a painter, and we got a chance to talk to him after class, and he would talk to us about drawing then, because the class itself wasn't a technique class, it was a history class technically, and so he told me that you always want to draw big if you can, and like give yourself the space in the room to work basically. And so I do that, or I try to do that. Well, I gotta find my glove. I got this cool glove that covers up my pinky and ring finger, so that I don't get grease, because I'm a nerd, all over the screen, because I'm constantly eating bacon, like constantly, like I just have bacon in my mouth all the time, like I have to take it out of my mouth like gum to talk to people, just all the bacon all the time. I'm kidding. I only have bacon like every couple hours. No. Okay, all seriousness, I just enjoy bacon like a normal person every once in a while. I'm trying to keep my weight regulated, trying to get my exercise on when I can and all that kind of stuff. And now hopefully I got this job. I'm always nervous because I did well. They said they wanted to hire me. I gotta just pass the background check. Now I'm not a criminal, so I should be okay, but I just always worry about that sort of stuff. I'm a worrier by nature. But next week, Wednesday, I'm working. I just won't tell you guys what the job is, because that's my superstition. I don't want to jinx myself and then be all butthurt and heartbroken because I didn't get the job I told everyone I was so proud to have gotten. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my own little, I got a lot of little weird things going on. I'm just a weird person in general. Okay, so so the other thing is, he stood over there. I don't need that right now anyway. The other thing is, basically, I'm gonna be able to finish this issue a lot sooner than I anticipated, because it's not as long as I thought it was going to be. It just isn't as long. I kept going over the story and how I had it plotted and planned, and then thinking about my page numbers, because I know 30 pages for the actual issues to come out is the goal, and somehow I just forgot in my little mental note that part of those 30 pages is literally going to be the bonus backup issues or backup stories that will appear at the end of the book. Now, what I mean by bonus backup story is I grew up reading a lot of Thor. Like, I was a huge, I still love Thor. I'm a Thor fan. I don't read contemporary comics right now. I kind of got out of the comic book reading game when I stopped reviewing comic books, and so I just haven't really gone back. And Marvel is doing some interesting things from a reader's perspective, and I am, like, honestly curious. I even tweeted to Sanford Green, who's who works for Marvel as an artist. He's an incredible artist too, by the way. And he liked my tweet. He's going to be working on this new book. And I'm like, oh man, dude, please stop telling me about the books you're working on. Your artwork is so incredible. I can't afford to go to the comic book shop. I mean, I was that guy who bought like 30 books a week, you know. And I would buy Thor, of course. And in the back of Thor was these backup stories called Tales of Asgard. And they were sometimes prevalent, sometimes less prevalent, depending on who was writing and the overall sort of place the book was in. And so it seemed like I would get these, like, I was reading Thor in the 90s when it actually wasn't Thor, when it was Eric Masterson, which is what's so funny about a lot of these Marvel movies. Like the whole Infinity Gauntlet era, like the whole time that was actually going, when Jim Starlin and those guys were writing those books, Thor, as he's known, you know, currently was, well, dead. Like Thor was not around. It was a guy named Eric Masterson who was Thor. And so I am more familiar as an everyday reader back then with Eric Masterson being the guy and not actually like Thor Odinson, who would appear in my time reading Thor. But when I first picked up my first copy of Thor, yeah, it wasn't Thor, you know. And so I would get all these books and I would read, you know, in whatever order struck me. And then I would pick up Tales. I would like get to where it was Tales of Asgard and then like put the book down. And I would read the rest of my books. And then when you read all your books, no matter how many you get, you're like, oh, I'm all out of books now. I gotta wait a week, you know, for more books to come out. Because I read, even before I started reading them for a living, I read every comic like I could get my hands on. I was a permanent fixture in my comic book shop, you know. Sometimes to my own like disadvantage, because I would like, you know, get all the books, you know. And so basically, I would wait until I was all out of new comics, and then I would go back and read Tales of Asgard to kind of get my little fix, kind of trick myself and give myself a little bonus DVD action in Tales of Asgard. And so it got me to thinking, Tales of Asgard to me kind of was a bit of an untapped resource, because if you think about it, Thor could easily take up his own wing in the Marvel universe. I mean, there's so many characters in Asgard, like of the Norse mythological characters, the Warriors 3, Lady Sif, you know, you name it, Death, Hela, I mean, gosh, Loki. There's just so many characters, and you figure that while Thor is on these amazing adventures, the rest of the guys aren't just sitting around like, you know, doing nothing. They gotta be up to something too, and they could have totally did a bunch of books about the Norse gods. But I guess the same thing can be said for Wonder Woman's wing of the DC universe. She could have totally been involved in a bunch of other characters and stories from the Mascara. So like it's not just a one thing that Marvel did. It was just like they had a character who had a rich background with many other characters who could easily be as fantastic, you know. And so I thought about, like, if I could do that sort of additional content at the back of a book, how would I utilize it? And what I got is, well, I'm not gonna lie, it's called Tales of the New World, because I love homages because I'm a comic book fan, you know. And so in Tales of the New World, I do take advantage of the richness of the world itself and the fact that there's sometimes more story than time will allow for. And so basically, Tales of the New World will show you different stories from different timelines in the New World universe. So as I mentioned in yesterday's episode, one of the backup stories will be about a character named the Raven Dark, and you're going to meet his wife, and his wife is going to be teaching a history class, and in that class she's going to break down like the history of New World, and that character and that story will take place a long time after the events of the first issue in the first year of the book. The Metro PD is in 1985. Raven Dark, or the Legend of the Raven Dark, when the book starts, will take place roughly 75 years or so after that. You know, so there's going to be a lot of stuff in between, and you're going to see some of those stories take place, and you're not going to see some of those stories take place. Like I'm going to skip ahead past certain events. You know, so oftentimes within the context of the story, major events that aren't like a, kind of a Tarantino style, I guess. But I'm not gonna go super out of order. I'm not gonna like all of a sudden in book 4 go back to the day after this issue. Like I'm not gonna do like that. But however, there will be. Let me get some. When I paint, I'm gonna be able to fill in some of this. I just want to get a little bit more volume on this tree. But basically, oh, it can be bigger too with the damn tree. And Simon is huge. You know what? Yeah, since I'm still doing here, I'm just realizing my scale. Simon is a big dude, and this tree is technically in the foreground. So let's make my tree a little bit bigger. Oh, too big. Too big. Got a little excited there. Back. Let's try this again. Okay, anyway, so yeah, now that backup story, like I said, won't be in the special issue because I really want to get that special issue to say thank you to the people who donated for this monitor in their hands. Like it was like a double-edged sword. I didn't want to give myself so much pressure, but I think I needed it to get this book done. I've been working on this book for a long time, in one form or another, trying to get better as an artist, trying to work on my skills as a writer, like the whole 9 yards, like trying just to get better to where I was comfortable doing this sort of thing. And so I'm to the point now where it's just time to put up or shut up. Well, actually, I'm probably 10-15 years past put up or shut up, to be quite honest. So now it's just get the work done and stop bugging us about it. Just get it done. And so here I am, out here trying to get it done. The thing about my 30-page projection was I'm starting to panic, going, man, it's like no matter how many pages I get done, I'm always halfway done with this stupid issue. And then as I'm doing this page in particular, which I will give a little bit of detail about what's happening on this page, I'm starting to think to myself, well, wait a minute, like if this is where I'm at in the story and I know how this issue is supposed to end, why am I only on page 18? I should be more like on page 27. And that's when I realized that I had plotted the book not considering that the last few pages are supposed to be a whole different story entirely, and the story itself of this issue isn't supposed to go for 30 straight pages. I just filled in a bunch of stuff that's really supposed to happen in the next issue. And so if you might have noticed on that other page, you saw a small folder that said issue 2. Basically, I drug all those panels and all that work of like just the plotting and the story that were showing up in issue 1 and just put them where they belong, which is in issue 2. And so the ending I imagine of this issue is now in place to happen at the pace I originally chose, which shortens my workload to get the special edition out. Now, I don't know how many people. I know that only a handful of people had a chance to donate to my GoFundMe. I didn't really need overwhelming amount of people. The GoFundMe was for about $650, and I only really absolutely needed 400 of that to get the monitor. The leftover money was supposed to go towards taking care of some legal stuff just to make sure I'm all set in stone, which did get taken care of. Don't worry about that. And then also just I was advised to ask for more than I needed, and I thought that made sense. And then I promised myself that if I got what I needed, I would just go ahead and do it and not wait to get the desired goal, because the point was to get the monitor and get to work in earnest. Now, if you also have to know by now that I am on page 18, so it's not like I wasn't doing the comic book before I got the monitor, but doing the comic book started to get like really frustrating because of the problems I had with my original apparatus. So like I just really appreciated all the people who took time out of their day and stuff to not only put money in my tip jar or my beggar's cup, that's how I really look at it, but also people who just shared the links that came out, because man, look, I'm broke. So if someone came out and said, look, I need help with this economically speaking, I can't help you economically. So if I can't help people economically, I can't be all butthurt if they can't help me economically. Times are tough all over, and I know. And so the special issue is like, it was just an enticement hoping that people will get like, will, think like, okay, cool, if I help them out with any kind of donation, a dollar, 50 cents, I could get this free copy, and that'll be nice, like a little extra added gift, which is sort of redundant, because the book will be available for free 99 on my Facebook page, Dante R. Maddox. Now, with that being said, I will have the paperback edition available for everyone, the special edition for everyone. And what I'll probably put in it, besides the 24-page story, will also be some pinup art and anything else I can think of to throw in there as a bonus. But the backup story won't be in there. That'll be a regular comic book thing. And I'm going to try, and my rule for selling my books, I go through CreateSpace, is to sell it at the lowest price I can sell it. CreateSpace won't let me give it to you for nothing, and they get kind of mad about next to nothing. However, they will, it cuts into my profit per book, essentially. So I will get the least amount of money per issue that they'll let me, sell it at. And then they take the other percentage, and then hopefully the book will be cheap. I'm really hoping I can make the book cheaper than $5. I'm like, that is my goal, is to be cheaper than $5, but $5 might be the actual, like, straight up minimum, And if it is, I apologize in advance. I remember buying a comic book for 65 cents. I remember like sweating bullets when they went up to $1.10. And I remember looking at the first time going $2.99, and then at the end of my days collecting comics, getting 20 comics and it costing like $60. So like, I don't want to do that. If I can afford, because one of my original plans was to really sell my comic books at throwback prices, like literally sell them at like 10 cents a pop if I could. And I just, they won't let me. That's just the truth. They won't let me. There's no way CreateSpace will let me sell the books for that cheap. This pencil, I don't like this lead. I mean, I like it, but not for something like a tree. I need something a little bit heftier. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I like that better. There we go. So let's go back over here and do some more of this. There we go. All right. So, but the other saving grace is I can do Kindle. I have with CreateSpace is basically an Amazon company, so you have a cool thing with Kindle. The Kindle copy I can make really cheap. I might even be able to make it less than $1. I know 99 cents would be probably where my original point would be, but I think I can set it up for people to be able to get it for like a penny. And if I can sell this book for a penny, I'm telling you, I will do that shit. I'm not playing. Like, I just want to make sure that, like, the cost isn't an impediment for someone to check it out. Like, I really want people to check it out that bad. So, yes, if I can get you a digital copy of this book for, like, a penny, if you have to just join, like, the Kindle whatever, fan group or whatever, it's called Kindle Exchange, I think. If you do that and you can get it for a penny, I will gladly, support your efforts to get this book for a penny. Not that it's saying it's worth less, but man, I would rather have 1 million people pay a penny and make 1 million pennies, I guess. I mean, which is kind of silly to say, than have 100 people get it for $20 a pop. Like, that just sucks to me. I'd rather have I'm an artist. Everything I do is for public consumption, so I want the public to consume it. In order for them to consume it, they gotta be able to afford it, man. And so I want people to be able to afford my book. And if that means making less money and working a full-time job in order to support my art to get it out to the people, I'll do it. That's what I said in my interview today. Like, I was talking to the lady who hired me, and she's like, I really want to hire you. I'm like, cool, I really want to work here. And I told her, because I was trying to, it's like a retail kind of job. And I'm like, look, when I was 9 years old, my parents got overcharged for a can of peas. And ever since then, I trained my mind and my body to make sure no one ever got overcharged again, And she laughed, and that's a lie. I totally didn't say anything like that at all, but I thought that would be funny. If you're not a Batman reader, then you don't even get that. But yeah, I thought that would be funny. I should get a laugh track so that, when I, or a rim shot sound effect, because I think that was comedy gold right there. It's just comedy gold. But anyway, so with the job coming up, I gotta adjust my schedule, and then I gotta just make sure I keep grinding away at it. And we'll see. We will see. Now I might play some tricks with this tree. Trees and stuff are going to be a little weird in the New World Chronicles because of the nature of the story itself. Oh, get here, get back. What the hell is that? Get that away from me. I'll get my navigator back later. Give me a little less wood on that one. There we go. Basically, the New World Chronicles, the world is sort of in a big giant biodome called the Shield Generator, like a big fake thing over the planet that will sorry, I'm drawing a tree. It's not very happy right now. It's just a tree. But basically it's an artificial environment, because remember, weather control was the whole goal, and then to avert global destruction, things got different, things got weird, and so the sky's a different color. I think I'm gonna, at one point before the time is up, I'm almost out of time already. I've been trying to keep these videos short, the live ones especially, because I think that viewers will appreciate not having to watch hours and hours of me go on and on talking about crap. But the sky is a purplish color, and there's no real natural light. And there's a lot of different things that exist in the world to make up for the fact that that nature is sort of at mankind's will by necessity, not hubris, And so plant life and other things that normally let's see here. Other things that normally would exist in a natural world with natural sunlight and all that kind of stuff are kind of artificial and fabricated. So trees aren't exactly the same, and because of that, there's going to be a kind of a different feel to the whole world. That's at least what I'm going for, right? And then the other issue. Let me see. I want to try a different brush for the other plants. Let's grab. All right. Well, you know what? Let's go back to our pencil, and then I'm gonna basically, the world itself is going to move in a very different way. You're gonna see some of that in later issues as I explore what the outside looks like more and more. I want to sort of constantly get a sense of expansion of where the story is going, you know what I mean? And so the overarching idea of Metro PD and the New World Chronicles as a whole is to start very, very small with only a core group of characters, and then slowly expand into a universe of characters. So by the time you get to like book 4 and 5 and 6, the cast is going to go from 4 people or 5 people to like an enormous amount of people, and so on and so forth, right? And so let's see, let me get another layer in here. And so I kind of want that to be a theme that mirrors itself in a lot of ways. Let's see here, what kind of brush do I want now? I kind of want a brush that gives me a little bit of a, let's try this one. I don't know how that's gonna, yeah, that'll work. So I kind of want to create that sense of expansion in everything, every issue. So there was a test run of issue 1 that didn't cut the mustard, but did depict the moving city. And I'm not going to use all of that, but I will be using a great deal of it. And I'm going to put little bitty leaves on the tip of this bush in the next Passover. Oh, right now I just want to get the basic shape and kind of get it's a hedge basically. And so, and really it's just a cheap shot to cover up the fact that I got too cute with the perspective and realized that these characters don't fly or float. So yeah, just whatever. Not whatever, I mean it matters, but in the end it's gonna look cool. It's gonna look cool, I think. I know it's gonna look cool. I like making mistakes as I draw. I really do. I know that sounds strange to say, but I do, because it's like if I can make the mistakes in Photoshop, that means I'm never out of the game. If I see the mistake, I might continue with that mistake for a long time just because I know that as long as I don't flatten my image, I can always think about it and always come back to it until I figure out how I want to fix it, and then it's fixed. And like I got certain pages early on in the book that are far more completed than these pages I'm doing now, which because I want more uniformity from page to page. So doing all the pencils and then all the inks and all the colors will give me the uniformity that I really want. So let's have a look here. Let's back out and take a look. Okay, so like this page, like many others, is just kind of coming along. That's gonna be a little bit better. I think that'll work out a little bit better. And then the building will kind of loom in front of them a little bit. It's like a sky rise. It's gonna be a cool scene in the next couple of pages, and then we'll be done with the principal pencils, and then we'll do inks. And basically, the pencils take the most amount of time, and then inks less, and then colors. It's hit or miss depending on how I want to do the colors ultimately. If I want to have more of a painted look, it will take a little bit longer. If I want to have more of a comic booky flat 80s 90s color feel, it would be a little bit shorter. I'm not quite sure, but if it doesn't take me forever to find this, I will open something for you so you can kind of see what I mean in terms of, yeah, I might be, hold on, I don't want to sit here forever. I also don't want to show you all my stuff, like all of my stuff, I mean, you gotta, yeah, this might take a second. Let's see here. Where is, here we go. This might be in here. Okay, I wanted my title page, but I don't seem to see where it got to, and I think that might be on the Fujitsu tablet. But like, this is one of the scenes where there's color and dialogue, and this image, of course, is not finished. The inking is actually reduced opacity. Now this is a JPEG, so this is not the actual PSD file where I can go in there and make pages. This is a JPEG saved for DeviantArt. Like I mentioned, I don't put finished work on DeviantArt. I just put stuff like this where you get an idea of it all, but you don't see the finished product. But this is the conversation between two characters. This is one of those issues where I transformed and lost a little bit of the angle, so Fiona looks a little different there. So I'm gonna have to go in there and get some stuff fixed in there, but like, yeah, so these hallways and stuff are gonna have a bit more definition to them. That's the color of the sky, and this is a high up building where their police headquarters is, and that's what color the sky is on New World. Like I like kind of a pinkish color. I wanted the idea of the blue sky, and I figured what would be an equivalent of a sky in an artificial world, and pink or purple is what I came up with. And so yeah, so this is closer to being done but not done, and this is, I want to say, is page 5, and so the first character you meet is Fiona, and then you're gonna meet Simon, and so on and so forth. And Fiona really comes to the forefront. This is an image from a previous attempt at getting the first issue done, and I liked the artwork, but the story really got away from me, and there were too many elements in this first run that were premature. So like, yeah, a lot of this stuff had to go away. I like this one image, but the overall artwork just it didn't work for me over time. Like I kept getting some decent images, but not nearly where I want it to be. Not nearly. I wonder where page 3 got to. Let's see, page 1, page 2, page 1, pages, page 4. I don't know. Page 3 should be around here someplace. Page 2. Man, wait, here we go. This might be it. This is it. Okay, this is just, well, part of it. Let's see here. What do I got missing here? Do I got everything? Oh, this is a flattened layer for something else. But that is, well, not the finished page, of course, because it's the wrong proportion, if you notice. And it's actually more of the drawing. But this is the title page Oh, I think this is actually going to be available as a print once this is finished. But this is the title page, and this is more completion in terms of the finished product and what the book is going to look like. So, like, this is, more in keeping of what you can expect when you actually have the book in your hands. I hope those colors are vibrant. They're gonna be the inking is still not exactly where I want it to be, but I hope you can see now that there's gonna be more than the flatness of the black and white images, because there's very little value in the drawings right now, and I don't mean that in terms of quality. I mean in terms of art, like value, shading, and all. It's just not. I haven't added that in yet. So yeah, so that's sort of a teaser, I guess. People who donate to my GoFundMe account or GoFundMe campaign are totally going to get this copy for free. The campaign may be open still, but probably not, or at least I'm not quite sure. I'm not actively campaigning because I got the monitor. I reached my goal. If you want to chip in some chippers, don't do it on my GoFundMe. I have a Patreon. That let's see here. Let's go to the desktop. I think it's on. And I can just, I don't know. Wanna watch a video? We can watch Walk Hard. No. I have like a, oh, it's gone now. That's why. That's right. I wonder if it's in here. Let's see here. I gotta really go through my computer and get a lot of this stuff kind of cleaned up, man. I got so much, like, just stuff in here, and just stuff, and then more stuff, and then some stuff after that, and stories and stuff. And like eventually, man, the whole point is to be able to tell every one of these stories I got stuck in my tiny little brain, and like, it's just, I feel like I'm always waiting for like one of these things to do it, like one story that people like, and then I can just do comic books all the time, and not worry about anything else. Right now I'm not there, but maybe one day, but technically not today, but you know what I mean. Here we go. It's not gonna be there. It's not gonna be there. I don't know. It's probably gonna be on my other computer, which I do have to pull off that, eventually. Is this it? Come on, hurry up now. People are waiting. I feel like, oh no, this is okay. Yeah, this is also probably going to be, oh, you know what? Yes, this is going to be the special edition cover to the Metro PD #1 special issue. Like, this is a take on the Empire Records cover, the movie, one of my favorite movies, because I'm in that age where those movies were awesome when I was like, in my late teens, early 20s. And so yeah, this is Liv Tyler and Ethan Embry and all those cats on the cover of the movie Empire Records. It's kind of the same idea. I've been working on a live video of me drawing this, but I think it would be way better if this was the cover to Metro PD #1 special edition. I have a more of a copy, police officer-esque kind of thing going on for the actual issue. So, yep, that's where we're at. That's where I'm at. As always, I gotta save. Oh, I already saved. So, I'm gonna say Alt-1. Ooh, hope that's right. We'll see in a second. I'm gonna say thank you for tuning in once again. I want to make sure I do this every night. It's sort of like keeping a promise to myself to make sure I keep on keeping on. I've been getting more and more people following me on Twitter, which is super awesome. Other artists and other interesting people that I would never guess in a million years would even know that I did anything. Like, I don't even understand how they came across any of the crap I do, but they came across it, and that's incredible to me, so here we go. I'm gonna call it a night there, and I will be back tomorrow. I think, I'm not sure what day of the week it is. I think it's Wednesday, right? No, it's Thursday. So tomorrow will end the week, the first full week of episodes of At Work with Dante and Maddox. Got 5 episodes in a row without any breaks. Knock on wood. If aliens attack tomorrow, I will destroy them all before 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and so that the show can go on. And thanks again for tuning in. And you guys be easy out there.